comment, and subscribe.
Right, release new champion and skins. Well, considering I got up late and stuff, people have already made a bunch of videos on that. They're not going to want to watch this video. Alternatively, this channel's dying. You need to make every video that you can. Also, money. No, well, when you put it that way.
So howdy there. I overslept on a Monday before patch day, which in League is bad because that's usually when they drop stuff so they can then on the Tuesday update the PvE with a bunch of stuff as well, or at least tease it. And it's also more bad because if you're part of the lead partner program, you sign like an NDA, but you get to get the content before everyone else. So as soon as like 8 AM hits and they're dropping like, oh, here's a new champion and stuff, all the league partners can start dropping their videos, and then you're even more behind if you're not part of the league partner program. So what a perfect day to oversleep. That being said, Riot did in fact drop a new champion, new skins, and some other things we're going to get into, and I haven't actually looked at any of this, so I'm going into this blind as well. As an AD carry, I'll be reacting to this as we go through it from like an AD carry player's perspective, which is probably everything that this champion does probably kills us. Let's just be real. Also, we're on this website, Surrender at 20. Make sure to go check that website out, and here we go. So let's see, they're called RELL, the Iron Maiden. Now, I believe this is the tank champion they teased. Back in the champion roadmap, they teased like a musical mid laner, a tank champion that's like a buster, and some other stuff. And now we found out, you know, Seraphine was that musical mid laner. And this is, I guess, the tank busting champion. Forge your heart into something strong, unbreakable. Our newest champion, RELL, the Iron Maiden, has been revealed. And so there's a table of contents. There's a champion page with lore and stuff like that. We'll touch on it maybe briefly, because maybe you know how they like to drop lore hints about what the champion does in the thing. The production of brutal experimentation at the hands of the Black Rose, RELL is a defiant living weapon determined to topple Noxus. Her childhood was one of misery and horror, enduring unspeakable procedures to perfect and weaponize her magical control over metal until she made a violent escape, killing many of her captors in the process. Now branded as a criminal, RELL attacks Noxian soldiers on sight as he searches for survivors of her old academy, defending the meek while delivering merciless death to her former instructors. Holy cow, okay, that's actually kind of bad. The Black Rose is an organization, well, on the old lore, y'all that know the Journal of Justice days. Can my mouse? Hello, my mouse. Thank you, mouse. That was like, you know, Vladimir, I think LeBlanc and some other champions are part of like an underground, like secret Noxus organization that even Noxus didn't know about. So that's kind of bad. So to try and topple Noxus, that's a little bit interesting because Noxus itself is not necessarily synonymous with the Black Rose. Like I think like Swain is beefing with LeBlanc, for example. So I think Noxus would kind of be on your side there. And that oh, it has the, I didn't have to blow that up. It has the okay. Here's a splash art that looked like they're riding a horse. No, it's a metal horse. It's just the horse armor. There's no horse in there. Okay, so they can control metal. So like a metal bender with a giant lance that looks like it's infused with lava. That's actually kind of sick looking, to be honest. But let's see down here. So we'll scroll past all this because what you're probably here for is the reveal stuff. So let's look at this again from an AD carry's perspective. We're gonna read this and then we're gonna probably watch the video. Let's see. Passive. Break the mold. Oh, my mouse is not working. Thank you, mouse. I'll just, you know what? I got this. It's cool. This is why Tom was better than Jerry anyways. Passive, break the mold. RELL attacks very slowly, but temporarily steals a portion of her target's armor and magic resist to deal bonus damage based on the amount stolen. Additionally, RELL can siphon resistances from multiple different foes to grow extremely tanky. Well, joke's on you, as an AD carry, we don't have a lot of scaling armor and magic resist, so there's not a lot of bonus damage we'll actually be taking from this. So there's someone that's going to actually want to fight tanks and not necessarily fight AD carries. I mean, they could be the support champions, so they're going to be in the support lane, which is even better. It means actually a lot of their damage is not going to be there, from the passive at least. Obviously, there's 4 other abilities to have misery over. But in this one, like, that's not something we, even with the new item changes, like, all they do is put crit on everything. They didn't put, like, armor and magic resist on everything, too, right? We're just going to pop. So you're not going to get a lot of bonuses from this. That's actually kind of nice. I'm not going to lie. I could be being too optimistic. That's my thing. Q. Shattering Strike. RELL stabs forward in her lance, breaking any shields and damaging all enemies hit Damage decreases after the first target. So if you're hitting my front line, the damage is going to be decreased too. Okay, that's fine. Let's just sacrifice our Maokai. Maokai, just get up there, or Ornn, and just take all of this. If Rell has any ally bound with E, oh, we're not there yet, Attract and Repel, she and that ally recover health for each champion hit by this ability. So it really wants her to kind of get in the face of the enemy, take a lot of damage, and then so have an excuse to heal that damage back, negating the whole interaction whatsoever. So I guess, though, breaking any shields and damaging all enemies, I guess late game, or depending, because since it has crit on it, you might rush a Bloodthirster. I don't know what you're doing out there. That could be interesting, though, because, like, a Bloodthirster is a shield when you have it, like, stacked up. It will break the shield and then do damage and then heal them. That will be interesting to see. We'll see the video in a second, too. W1, which means it has two different things on it. Cool. Can only cast while mounted. Oh, so there's a mount. Gotcha. We'll get there too. Crashdown. Rell leaps into the sky and transforms her mount into heavy armor, gaining a huge shield that lasts until destroyed or remounting. Upon landing, she knocks up all enemies around her. Rell then casts her E, Attract and Repel, and R, Magnet Storm during the transformation. Okay, what? Transforms, leaps into the sky, mounts, huge shield. Okay, so a lot of stuff is happening here. Let's see. Transforms her mount into heavy armor. So the horse armor becomes just armor, but also with a huge shield. And it lasts until it's destroyed or she goes back into wanting to ride the horse. Gotcha. Okay. Upon landing, though, she knocks up all enemies around her. So it's like a Galio ultimate? It depends how big the range is, of course. Obviously, it's probably not going to be as big as Galio Ultimate, or why would you ever play Galio? You can recast the E during the transformation. We're not there yet, so we should have read this backwards. We always go Ultimate back to passive, because they like to do this a lot, where they're like, hey, you need to know what these other things are, and since you don't, you have no idea what's really going on. We're just, you know what, skip all of it, we're going to the Ultimate, and then we're going backwards. R, Magnet Storm. Rell erupts a magnetic fury, lanking near, lanking nearby enemies towards her. She then creates a gravitational field around her, pulling nearby enemies, and for a few seconds, the field doesn't interrupt her enemies' other actions. So it kind of sucks you in like a black hole, but it doesn't interrupt other things that you're doing. So if someone's throwing a charm, if someone's ulting, well, hold on. So if you do this to a Katarina who's ulting, you're just gonna pull the Katarina to you and kill yourself faster if you're squishy. If I'm reading that right. And as an AD carry, you're not stopping anything that I'm wanting to do, you're just also getting in melee range. So if I'm auto-attacking as a Jinx, I'm not gonna really care that much, right? I'm still gonna be auto. It doesn't hinder my auto attacks, it doesn't slow me, it looks like, so it doesn't even break my orb walking, so it doesn't break my attack speed either. So you're just kind of, well, except for the fact that you might be super powerful, so actually that I don't want to be that close to you, of course. But still, it doesn't interrupt other enemies' actions. So it's mainly like a, hey, I'm a melee champion, I want to gap close, but instead of me dashing to you, I want to bring you to me. That's interesting. Okay. E, Attract and Repel. Rell magnetically binds a piece of her armor to a target allied champion, granting them, granting them bonus armor magic resist while nearby. Rell can recast this spell to break the bind and stun all enemies around and between her and the bound enemy. So it's kind of like Callista. It'd be like if you Callista ulted somebody and you threw them in, and if they had the armor, by reactivating it, it would stun all enemies around or between you and the bound ally. Instead with the throw part. So the ally, you have to actually go do your job and just take your face and just throw it into the enemy formation. Please don't die, and then I do this. And given that there's supposed to be a support, now they can recast this on other enemies, of course, but you could probably bind to the AD carry, and as a Jinx, I'm not throwing my face into the enemy just to get a stun off. You're doing that. I'm staying back here. Have fun with that off in the lands of the battle. Have fun with that one. So now that we know what those two are, we can reread this and it'll make more sense. So, Rell can recast Attract and Repel, so that's the one where they're magnetically bound. Oh, so when they jump up into the air and land and knock up enemies, they can cast that, they can stun enemies, and they can bring enemies in. See, it makes a lot more sense when you know right after a while, when you've done this enough, and you see through all the stuff that they're trying to do, which is put the thing backwards. I got you. So it looks like also you can recast the durability, or has increased durability, lower movement speed, and movement ability capped while in armored form after the transformation. So it's like Urgot with the W, and which I don't actually like. I didn't really like the Urgot rework, to be honest. It's not a bad rework just because I don't like it, but I don't like moving super slow when casting the thing and stuff. It's like I already have pretty low movement speed. This makes it even worse. I just give me the ult back where I swap places. That was so dumb. It was so dumb, but I loved it. Doesn't mean the rework's bad, just because I don't like the new one. By the way, that's kind of how it works. I know. Controversial opinion time. Oh, real hot take hours. I gotcha. But W, Ferromancy. Oh, that's what Ferromancy. It's like Mancy. Oh god, mount up. Can only cast one armor form. Rell rushes forward and transforms her armor into a mount, gaining a burst of movement speed. During her next attack, she charges to her target to deal bonus damage and flip them over her shoulders. Rell has increased movement speed while mounted. After the transformation, this ability changes. Oh, so she's gonna want to horse race with Hecarim. They're gonna want to just like drag race around the summers. Get all the outer towers down, just so we can let these two just go at it, I guess. With them on the same team seems horrifying too. Actually, now that I think about it. So this looks like this is the W2 looks like it's so far the most damaging and threatening to, well, W period, because the landing and leaping against an enemy that has a shield and stuff, and you get knocked up and stuff. She has a Yasuo on her team, whatever, or just like a ground pound team that likes to do a lot of knockups and stuff. This could be the ability right here, the mouse. You know what? Just go get some cheese. Just go get cheese and just be chill. I have a finger. I can do this way. Look. Nope, it turns out that doesn't work. So if only technology worked. There we go. The W looks like it's the most threatening. Q, obviously, like it'll shatter your shield and stuff, and it will do damage. But the passive looks like it's probably the least threatening. Attract and Repel is good for allies, and the Magnus Storm obviously will be pretty good, especially based on team composition and stuff like that. So that'll be kind of interesting. Here's some art of them on their mount, and oh my goodness, that looks kind of sick. I might not feel that way after I die to this champion or things that this champion does several times, but at the moment where I haven't fought them yet, it looks kind of sick. Not gonna lie. Here's some concept art and stuff like that, and like I said, we're gonna watch the video. This video is by Skin Spotlights. If you want to go and subscribe to them, I don't know if I'm logged into anything, which is the only reason that this is not, but there we go. So that being said, the reveal. Probably should blow this up for y'all. Maybe I want to listen to this. Hang on. Okay. Oh, Skin Spotlights was nice enough to put the thing in the video too. Thank you, Skin Spotlights. That's actually... we didn't have to do that whole bit. I could have just skipped to this from the start, it turns out. Alright. Pause. I think I don't have desktop audio all the way up, so here we go. My bad. Now you guys might actually be able to hear what's going on. So this is the one with the stab forward. Yeah, and the range isn't too ridiculous either on that. It's not like she stabs like the whole lane. It's fine. There's the jumping one. Oh, it's like a really specific field too. So it's nowhere near Galio. So you obviously would still want to play Galio. And obviously you're slower in the armored form too. So there's also that problem too. So there's the mount. And when they're mounted, so basically if they're running at you with the horse, run for your life. So as Jinx or somebody, use the flame chompers. Alright, there's where you bind it. So you go over here. If you run over here, you can stun them. You can also do this one with the W too. That's right. So you can cast the W and then redo this if you want to. That's actually pretty neat. That's pretty funky. Oh no, you keep the magnetized for a while. I thought it was just like a one-time kind of grabbing thing. But no, you're like, hey, get over here and stay over here for a bit too. But it looks like you can't attack while you're doing that one. So that might be okay actually. Like that might be fine. Okay, so first impressions, they actually really don't seem that busted. We have to see the numbers obviously on these abilities as that happens, but for the moment they seem fine. Moving on to the second part of this video. Battle Queens. Alright, they teased this I think just over the weekend, but now they have the release for all these skins for Janna, Katarina, Qiyana, Diana with a prestige, and also with the release of a new champion, Battle Queen Rell. So here's the battle skins preview, and here's all the splash arts. We'll start with the splash arts. Here's Battle Queen Diana. which actually looks kind of neat. It has like the blues and that's not quite red. It's more like a, what's the color? Like a red violet, or more of a pinkish even, or pink purple even. I'm colorblind. You're gonna have to help me in the comments. But I kind of like it. It's kind of like both the colors with the white, and it just mixes very well. Like obviously those colors are almost complete opposites, but like it works for some reason. Maybe it's because it's Diana. That works. I kind of like the braid. I'm not gonna lie. I like that. Janna, of course. All armored up and stuff too. The giant staff. That kind of makes sense. It kind of looks pretty cool. So I'm guessing the idea. Are they all battle queens of different kingdoms, or are they all battle queens of the same kingdom? Because since one of the skins is going to Rell, and Rell talked about like freeing her fellow academy peoples, is that what this is supposed to be like a bit, or is that just more for that? And this is a different skin line, so different lore. This kind of looks kind of cool. I actually kind of like this too. How it's like the hair has a lot of color in the palette too, but it's completely different from most of the actual armor and the what's it called? The skin itself, basically. That's kind of neat. It's almost like a highlight at the top of the splash art. Ah, yes, Katarina, Nightmare, because she's actually pretty powerful right now because of the preseason items. I'm not saying she should be nerfed into the ground though, but I am saying this was a perfect time to line up a skin for her. And you know what? This kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Heartseeker skins, but not exactly. It's not enough Heartseeker for me to be like, this is just Heartseeker Katarina. No, there's enough battle in this to make it feel like, oh, it's still like it's a nice proper skin. That's where I'm going with this. The Heartseeker skins are kind of like proper, like elegant skins. This is an elegant skin that looks like it's also made for war and to like just step on your face and crush it into the ground into a nice powder. There we go. That's where I was going with that. That's not where I was going with that, but this is all improv off the top. So there we go. So here's a preview of oh, the horse still looks pretty cool. I kind of like that. That's gonna be a thing now. The armor horse kind of the thing. That's pretty neat. They're cool too, but obviously a lot of it is the combination of all of this here. So I kind of like how this is kind of more of like a shiny, like white, almost marble kind of a thing, and then they're kind of like the darker colors over here in contrast. It's like a Unis Honest kind of a thing. But no, it's also just kind of a neat in terms of like you got the white, but you also kind of have the dark. You have the light and the dark. And you have them kind of like their mission, I guess, since we just read it over. I think that looks pretty cool. All of these look pretty cool so far. Wait, have we done 4 already? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So last but not least, Qiyana. Now I'm not gonna lie.
Have you ever played a game called Danganronpa? Yeah, we literally just got done playing that on the gaming channel, basically since the summer. You can go subscribe to that channel if you want to, by the way. You just said this channel was we want people to stay here. They can do both. Anyways, check a look at this. Take my money.
I saw this splash art right before I did this video, and the hair. Anyways, the hair actually kind of reminds me of Celeste from Danganronpa. So that's kind of neat. But also, again, are all these like their own kind of like, because like Qiyana, isn't she already like, at least she feels holier than thou. Speaking of Danganronpa, like she's more of a Togami, if anything, in that regard. But isn't she already kind of like feel like she's holier than thou of everybody in her own region? So that's what this might be too. This might be someone that's like defeated in the background and stuff like that as well. So yeah, that could. So that mean does that mean these are clip-ons, or is that her actual hair? Is it like Celeste or not? I don't know. There's some turnarounds for what they look like in game. Should be pretty interesting to see. And there's obviously the video up here. This video is a bit lengthy, of course, and average watch duration of 55 seconds anyways. Might as well make them long, because why not? But that's going to be all for this video, because if we go to this last post, I believe this is just updated stuff. So like here's some updated stuff. The splash arts, like just the regular splash arts for them. Some turnarounds in game for the stuff. Oh wait, actually wait, some numbers. Okay, so here we go. So on the passive, it looks like deals an additional 10 damage plus 8 points. So this is for the armor magic resist. 80 carries. We're not gonna have a lot of that. So that's gonna be interesting. On the Q, it's going to do, let's see, 35 damage, and it looks like the 70 damage on the first hit with reduced damage going through. We're going to be more concerned late game where we have shields and stuff that we don't want getting broken, so like lifesteal and stuff like that might be a little bit in jeopardy. With this, movement speed, 5 to 15%, reduced when taking damage though. And the active form, it looks like increased to 45% movement speed when moving towards enemies. Okay, let's see, knocking up the enemy, doing 5 armor, 5 magic resist, plus 10%, but as 250 base movement speed. That's actually pretty darn slow. Even on Jinx, you should be able to kite that at that point, if they didn't mess you up specifically. Let's see, attract and repel. That's the one where you bind. That's where it does the stun. Dealing 80 damage plus 30% of magic damage, so about 130 damage, or 110 damage. My bad, my math is terrible. I need Hooked on Phonics. Let's see, so the damage 80, 120, 162. Oh, so it gets to about 240 at max rank, plus 30% of the magic damage, with a cooldown of only 11 seconds late game. So that's something to be, you have to play around, I guess. And of course, the ultimate, which damage per second, 60, 100, and 140. The duration is 2 seconds, it looks like. So 2 seconds, so 280 damage late game, but also the CC is probably what's more important than the damage itself, right? Oh, it's plus 70% magic damage, so 280% or 280 damage late game, plus 70% magic damage. So if she had like 70 magic damage, it'd be an additional 70 on top of that. So 350 damage, which is all of the Bloodthirster shield, I believe. So there's that too. And then you get magnetized for like the 2 seconds. That's going to be interesting. So we got some numbers. We got some numbers to play around with. They don't feel like they're particularly too strong nonetheless, though. So again, it'll be interesting to see. I'm probably going to call the video there because that's going to be all for this video from me. So thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button. But I don't know which video will be next because life can have a lot of kinks. So until next time, take care. ggGetJinxed. Thank you for watching and enjoy pizza responsibly.